Titanfall 2, How to Master Tone. Anyway, Tone is, I'd say, one of the most overpowered and the easiest to use. Um, it's kind of easy to pick up, but I'd say kind of hard to put down. Like, sometimes I have bad games with her, which is kind of um, not very, I'd say, likely because of how powerful people list her sometimes. Anyway, I'm playing Last Titan Standing, and we actually go flawless here, which is pretty cool. And I see his tone the whole time. Anyway, let's go over the loadout and stuff real quick, then I'll show you some tips. Anyway, you got your 40mm tracker cannon, which grants a partial lock-on every single time you shoot an enemy with its explosive rounds. You have your salvo core, which are you launch an absolute ton of missiles into the air, which are guided where you aim. So you can like shoot these in midair and just aim at the dude's feet and he'll die. Or you can shoot him straight in his face and the guy that's right next to him just look at him and kaboom. You got tracking rockets. Basically after the 40mm cannon gets a lock on after 3 or 2, depending on the perk, you have you'll get your tracking rockets be able to fire at that specific enemy that you locked on, or multiple enemies if you have a lock on both. And I'd say this is where the damage comes out most of the time. Like, the salvo core does a lot more damage, but the salvo core is pretty hard to actually get. And one thing, if you have low health, be careful when you use salvo core. Anyway, you have your particle wall, which is basically defense. You can camp there. You know, it protects one way, does not protect the other. It's nice to have it, and I'd say counters most of any other Titan other than another tone, a Legion, and what is it called? A Ronin or a. Actually, most Titans can destroy it, but the few that can counter like directly, Ronin because it just charges into you. Legion because he just melts everything. I'm not sure about another tone, but a North Star will be able to jump over top of it. And then you have your sonar lock, which is basically a little like a larger version of the data of the what is it called, the sonar throwing knife that you have on your pilot, but it gets shot from your Titan and it reveals a lot bigger area and it grants a partial lock on for your tracking rockets. Anyway, let's say when you first engage somebody, shoot them a little bit, but then when you notice that they actually like you got some attention going, flop down that wall so you can block some of their shots. And after that, just keep firing, and every 3 times or 2 times, like until the circle turns red, you basically fire off your missiles. And one thing, a good tone, like me or other people, actually have a tendency to shoot around corners. This is how. You shoot the guy in the face if you have the enhanced tracking rounds, or do a quick 2 shots, and if he goes around the corner, use your sonar lock and just aim a little bit, quite a bit to the left, and shoot your rockets, and it should curve around the corner and hitting him. And I'd say that tone is pretty efficient at killing, but the only time where it gets hairy is in group fights when you're like 1v2 and or 2v1, something like that, or when basically there's a Legion. Legion is kind of a problem to deal with every Titan. Like Ronin, he has a small health pool, and Legion has a lot of armor and a shield. Tone's main actual weakness against Legion is, well, his gun shield. And because she has her shield and Legion has his gun shield. So then it's kind of a tradey situation. But the thing is that the particle wall, you can actually get around behind. While Legion's basically gun shield, he can actually just look at you and still be blocking 360 degrees, kind of. That's kind of why Ronin is actually kind of effective against Legion. But Tone, well, you kind of have to shoot his feet for a little bit, which is actually kind of hard because this gun shield kind of covers there. And then You just aim upwards quite a bit and fire off your rockets, and hopefully they don't hit the gun shield. Or just plain switch to Scorch and just light them on fire. And I'd say that Tone has a lot of DPS, but then also against pilots is very efficient. Why? Because that 40mm tracker cannon can one-shot a pilot, and also with its explosive round nature, it can actually take out pilots pretty fairly easy. The only thing is your aim, because the 40mm tracker cannon does have some bullet time, so you're gonna have to, I'd say, lead your shots quite a bit before they actually get to kill the guy. And I'd say that sonar lock is also very good against the cloaked pilots, since it kind of flickers and then you know, like, okay, that guy's over there, and then flickers again, and then, oh, okay, he's over there. But anyway, smack that like button, hit the sub, drop a comment, I'll see you guys later for another video.